How's everyone doing? Welcome to Planned Brotherhood. Planned Brotherhood is not affiliated or associated with Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood is a registered trademark of Planned Parenthood, Federation of America Incorporated. So if you love PJ and you love Nick, just suck their dick.
This is part 2 of our episodes with Tracy. It was filmed a while ago, so we talk about Thanksgiving, and unfortunately there are no Avatar or Jay Leno jokes. Sorry guys, next time.
I'm always hesitant to join that stuff right away. You know, at first I'm like, okay, what am I getting myself into? You know,
Yeah.
Do I want to join up?
Well, it's like my sister sent me a friend request on Plaxo or one of these for kids social networking sites, and I accepted it.
Oops.
And then, like, I just never. I'm not
Pedophile.
like I don't even have the energy. I don't even have the energy to go in there and delete it. So, like, I keep getting the emails and stuff like that.
Oh, God.
Like, I don't want to go there and have to learn how to cancel my account and all that kind of shit. It's not worth my time.
Just
So
ignore
all
it.
it took
I
was
just spam
accepting the
folder it.
request, and then you were a member?
No, I think I like kind of started a page on there.
Yeah, see what Melissa's
It was
friends
like
look like.
MySpace. No, see that's the thing. That's what made it kid-friendly.
Kid-friendly.
Like who you were friends with and stuff, and even pictures of them. Like only you could see them,
You know, it's
no matter what.
You know, it's convenient about all this online communication now. I was shopping last weekend and ran into somebody that was an old customer of mine, and I never liked her. And she told me how her husband had just died 11 weeks before. And
you laughed.
Fuck yeah.
And I said, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. She had her 3 kids with her. And I'm going, yeah, here's the potential I want to get into again. So she says, oh, I miss you. I said, yeah, I miss you too. And well, I want to get a hold of you. Is your email address the same? I said, yeah, sure. Just throw me an email. I think I gave her an email from like 3 accounts ago. That is when she had last got my email. Of course, I haven't heard from her in a week. I'm going, I wonder how many bounces back she's gotten. And that's like
She still knows.
That's the convenience of the internet now. You change things up so often, and you can get totally lost out there, and they can never find you.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but my password is the same for everything. I hear that's
Yeah.
not safe.
No, it isn't safe, but
It's a complicated password.
Here's the deal. You can't fucking memorize every password, so you have to write them down, which is just as unsafe
Yeah.
as having one password.
Yeah.
So what's the point?
Working an office job, it was amazing how many people, especially if they were new, would just have their passwords written on Post-it notes all over their computer
Yeah.
that I'm walking by to get coffee, you know?
I have a a program on my computer called RoboForm, and it memorizes the passwords. Then it fills in everything for me, which is convenient.
It's Margaret now. How's the cat? Oh, you too, I guess.
Cat?
Nick's
Yeah,
unhappy in his relationship.
I'm being you. Oh, the cat.
Right.
Well, let me tell you. It's like that old joke, which I will not tell the whole joke. The guy,
Please, just the setup, not the punchline.
yeah. The guy calls a friend and says, your cat died. Says, well, if you had to tell me the cat died, you couldn't have set it up first. You couldn't have told me how this happened, and that happened. So I'm sorry. I just didn't think you'd want me to blow it out that long. Says, well, next time, think about that. A week later, he calls and says, Grandma was out in the tree.
You did tell the whole joke.
See, it's the punchline that matters. The setup can be anything.
The aristocrats.
Exactly. Case in point. But Robert, who I've talked about before, landlord,
Former friend, sure.
He'll take 5-10 minutes to tell a joke to the point where you just don't give a fuck anymore by the time he gets to the punchline. And I was always able to take his jokes and pare them down to 30 seconds.
I'm pretty sure I'm a bad joke teller.
That's all. You know what the key to telling a joke is? I was going to tell you this before.
Because you've heard enough shows to know we don't know how to tell a joke.
Yeah. No, the key to telling a joke is don't tell it as a story you're repeating. Tell it as the spectator. Don't say a guy walked into a bar. Say this dude walked into the bar.
Right. You got to make it your own.
Exactly. Make it your own. Make it you were sitting on the bar stool next to the guy when he walked in. One of my favorite jokes. This guy walked into the bar, orders 5 shots, pounds them all down, and I said, "Dude, what's wrong? You look upset." He says, "Yeah, I just found out my son's gay." So, dude, I'm sorry. A week later, I'm back in the bar. He comes waltzing in, orders 5 more shots, pounds them down. He just looks miserable. I said, "Dude, what's up? What's wrong now?" He says, "I found out my other son's gay." He says, "Oh, it's 2 out of... Oh, shit, sorry, dude. No grandkids for you, I guess." Next week, I'm back in there. He comes in, orders 10 shots, just starts pounding them down, crying. I said, "Dude, don't any of your kids eat pussy?" He goes, "Yeah, my daughter."
See, it's all the delivery. I think you just proved that.
Pussy saves any joke.
Yeah, exactly. Pussy saves, pussy hurts.
Going back to cats, you're not a pet person. I don't think you ever have been.
No, that goes right back to my nurturing.
At least blame
thing.
it on allergies, so PETA doesn't get mad.
And this goes back to the parenthood thing again. I'm not a nurturer. I don't even have plants in here. The only plants are the yard.
Chia pets.
It's not even a chia pet.
Are you sure you don't have like a SpongeBob chia pet still in the box or something like that? There's a lot of SpongeBob in the bathroom.
That's a valid question.
If they made them, I would have it. Yeah, but it would still be in the box.
Every time I pee, it takes twice as long because I'm playing with all your SpongeBob talking pens as I walk out.
Oh, hey, that's what they're there for. But the Family Guy ones are funnier.
I'll remember that for the next time. When you take a huge shit at your house, you don't even need a magazine.
No, just look at the toys. Yes, I know. I'm just a kid at heart, but hey.
I'm cat sitting a lot now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
At least he's getting some pussy.
Good one.
Yeah.
But I used to have this irrational fear. Like Margaret, my friend, who I'm cat sitting for currently, she's sending me texts asking how the cat's doing. Not even asking how my Thanksgiving was, which we all love. But now I don't care, and I know the cat's fine without me. But at the beginning, like it's a scaredy cat to be sure. So like I never see it anyway. Like it does not want my love at all, and I don't want it either. So
besides, cats don't need attention the way dogs do.
But the texts I get are like, "Are you giving Joey the love that she needs?" And I'm like, fucking. But at the beginning, I was so paranoid that the cat hated me, and then if it would disappear for 10 seconds, even though the condo is only so big, and yet I'm checking the oven and I'm running outside, and like it was fucking ridiculous.
You're smoking a lot
See,
of pot. You're getting paranoid.
That's true. That was part of it.
But that's why I'm not an animal person, a pet person.
Because you care too much?
No, I hate the fact that humans even think that animals have a concept of love. It's a big word that I always stumble over, but humans anthropomorphize animals. They think they are little people and not animals. That's the argument I used to have with Sylvia, an old girlfriend of mine that used to live in this house.
Yep, I wrote it down. We're talking about it next.
She had this thing about dogs that was just ridiculous. They were just people. But my dog loves me. I said, no, let's put it this way.
The dogs lived here?
In the backyard.
Yeah,
and I found out
that.
Later in the house when I wasn't here. I saw
of course,
picture.
Yeah.
And the thing was about that is I realized with her that if she was going to be that way with a dog, imagine what she'd have been like with kids. My rules would have never applied. So anyway,
it's very telling, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So back to the animal thing, I said if you two were stranded on a desert island with no food, you would die before you'd eat your dog. But if your dog got hungry enough, he would eat you.
Yeah.
So dogs don't know love.
No, they don't. I think David Cross probably put it best because he was talking about the same exact thing. And he says when your dog licks you, it's just thinking salt, salt, salt.
Yeah, it's tasting you.
Yeah.
It's not loving you. It's saying, little gravy. In fact, that's one of my
owner is delicious.
That's one of my center jokes. Don't you love cats? Yeah, a little gravy, greens on the side. Yeah, no problem. Korean barbecue.
You're pulling no punches tonight, man.
Did you see Barry's stand-up video?
I can't get myself to do it. Do you remember when we were kids being Jehovah's Witnesses and somebody would be giving a talk on the stage and you get really uncomfortable for them?
Yeah.
That's how
every time my dad approaches the
That's
stage.
how I feel about watching that video. I just can't get myself to do it.
It's pretty painful. I'll be the first to say it.
And to me, that's
There's laughter.
There was laughter, but it was JW laughter.
You know, here's the
Who
funny,
wants that?
Here's the
Which
funny
means
part.
pity.
I realize that's why I'm uncomfortable with certain TV shows like Curb Your Enthusiasm and The Office, because they remind me of those
Right.
incidences where
Yeah,
I'm
but they put a funny
uncomfortable with.
spin on it. That makes it okay.
They do, but it's trying to get past that part, past the uncomfortable part, which is what
I've had
Curb
a
is
lot of
all-
girlfriends
which
like
is
you.
what
I hate
Curb is
watching
all based
reality
on.
shows like on Big Brother when they confront each other and stuff like
But
that.
see, I think Curb is way more realistic than reality shows.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's the funny part.
Hey,
I'm
no,
going to
that's
disagree
really
with both of you. Curb Your Enthusiasm is anything if not realistic. Was that the point I was trying to make? What I'm saying is nobody really would yell at him as often as it happens on that show.
True.
Like, it's always a screaming match.
Right, but you don't think The Office is real either. You
I understand
just,
that they're doing that for effect. Like,
Right.
it's a
Right, right.
hyper-realistic
But
situation.
The thing is, okay, take the yelling. Yeah, in real life, you wouldn't be yelling at that person that way, but you're doing it on the inside.
Right.
They're just vocalizing what everybody's thinking.
If I got called an asshole by strangers half as often as Larry David's character Larry David on that show, I'd fucking have killed myself by
Yeah,
now.
but if you had $900 million in the bank, I would love to be that curmudgeon old man.
That's what. Yeah, really. That's what's always gotten to me about television. There was a show back in the 70s called Murder, She Wrote. Did you ever hear that one? Okay.
Is that a joke question?
I couldn't tell.
Everybody's heard of Murder. I hate to date myself and assume that you guys know memories from my childhood. Your grandma loved the show. Anyway,
I knew that about her,
okay.
yes.
In reality, if one person, be they an author or whatever, that was not a cop, was involved in a murder week by week, they would start suspecting that person.
Yeah.
You know,
Because she just always happened to be there. That was it, right?
Or this
At least
person,
Columbo has a purpose
or
for being
this
there.
person would end up in the loony bin going, I can't escape. Everywhere I go, there's fucking somebody getting killed.
If you have as many kills on your cop record as like the guys from Bad Boys, you wouldn't be back 2 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about airplane food next.
Hey, I hate it when they throw the gun away just because the bullets are gone.
Give me a
still
break. It's
perfectly
still a good gun.
Yeah, exactly. You can hit
That was always
it.
Barry's big thing watching movies. And when people would like overkill, shoot so many bullets, he's like, okay, I think you got him.
No, I'll tell you what. If you stuck a gun in his hand and his wife was right there, I don't think he'd quit until the wife was empty.
Me and Barry were having a conversation about annoying people at movies. I went and saw Where the Wild
Everybody but
Things
me.
Are, and there's a scene
Until your daughter was annoying and then you left.
right.
At least you laughed. Good
There was a
parent.
Yeah,
scene
no
during
kidding.
it where one of the wild things refers to the sun as tiny. Don't worry about it. It's such a tiny thing. And this lady down the aisle goes, the sun's not tiny. It's huge. Like, people like that, like, just
Right.
annoy the shit out of me. And Barry's giving all these examples of the people, times that's happened to him. And then we watched The Dark Knight together. And he's
I
exactly
just wrote this
that
down. I
person.
was so glad you're going here.
He's exactly that person. He interrupts so much during movies that...
Tell Tracy how he interrupted.
Which is why DVD is great, because Robert will do that. My former friend Robert will just pause and discuss it for 5 minutes, then go back to
And
the
that's
movie.
okay with me.
No,
With DVDs,
his
it's fine.
his thing is more like the movie theater thing, where it's not having a conversation; it's just comments throughout
on what the script.
That prove that I'm watching this movie
Right.
with you.
Right.
predictions about what the next line's going to be, stuff like that. Like,
I had an
he's
ex
full
one
of 'em.
time. I had an ex one time say, "Why did they do that?" Because it was in the script.
yeah,
It's
or
a
you, or
movie.
you can go. What's happening? Who's that guy? We're watching the same movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's why I think one of the reasons I don't like to go to the movie theater with other people, which is why I don't go to the movie theater, because I don't want to go alone. Weird. Is I love movies, but the last thing I want to do when we leave the movie is discuss the movie we just saw. I just saw it. I don't want to fucking talk about
I
it. now.
completely agree with
I
you,
hate-
and my friends know that rule too. Everybody knows not to ask me the second, even when it's 2012. Like, we know what we thought of it. We watched the same movie, right?
I hate,
like, it's
I
fucking
hate
ridiculous.
walking out with the people who are talking about the movie, hearing their conversations.
You talking about friends or just strangers?
No, like when strangers, like the crowd walking out of
Right.
a movie theater, the way they're discussing it, even if it's something like radio,
Right.
with Cuba Gooding.
That's why I won't see Precious until DVD, because I don't
Yeah,
care how you
exactly.
feel about this poor girl.
It's like, did you see this scene? Yeah, I was just sitting next to you. Yeah, I saw the scene. We were watching the same movie, weren't we?
What's your time limit on it? Like, how long until your friends?
Usually
are
I
allowed
give
to
it at
talk?
least until the next time I hang out with whatever particular person. I won't talk about it. And like I said, even if it's fluff, like Zombieland, I knew I loved it the second I left just because it was a lot of fun.
But you got to stick to the rule. I'm not gonna. Me and Alvino.
Zombieland, I bent the rule a little bit because I'm like, we can talk about this
You
because
could
it was
say,
fucking
that was
hilarious and
fun, that was
disgusting. Yeah,
funny,
yeah.
but I don't want to go into the...
And they knew I was, but they don't need to ask because they're sitting right next to me and can hear me laughing at all the right
Right.
times and everything else,
Yeah.
Yeah, just... I think it's... I need time to process it. I need to see the movie again, too.
I don't think you would with Zombieland, let's say. Like, you get what that movie's going for the first time out. It's
Yeah.
not trying to,
I think you
like,
get
break
it
new
just by the
ground.
title. I think there's going to be
That's what's so
zombies in
perfect
this
about
movie.
that title.
Yeah.
I think when I see, especially a dramatic feature, I like to. Well, with Alvina, I mean, it's only very surface. Her brain can't handle. Stupid.
Let's not finish
But
that
no,
sentence.
I like to say, like, oh, wasn't this part of the movie, like, badass? I don't really do it for a comedy or anything like that. But then again, I see a lot of movies alone. So then it's like my day off, I'll go see it, and then I have, like, hours to just sit by myself and think about it alone, and then...
and you'll often fill me in.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you how I feel about a movie right away because I'm just texting you and telling you whether or not I thought it was interesting. But, yeah, I mean, you get pretty animated with me when it's something you really love. I think Inglourious Basterds was the last real good example.
Yeah.
Although you said you're over that basically now, right?
did I
Watch
say
it again.
that?
I think you did.
It'll
don't
come
think I
up
said
again, come Oscar race, when that one dude gets his,
Christoph Waltz
Christoph
is a
gets-
shoe-in.
That's
be
when
sure.
that's when people will be talking about the movie again, because by then it'll be on DVD.
Right.
And
I
I'll
plan on
see it.
purchasing that one.
The thing is like you said about going to the movies. I would love to go to the movies alone. I wouldn't mind it anymore, but I hate people so much.
Yeah.
And one of the bad things about the video age, videotape and DVD is everybody thinks they're in their living room now when they're at the movie theater, and they won't shut up. I'm short-tempered and easily irritated.
But
and
who
I
in
just
their
can't
mind
be
doesn't
that.
know that you're supposed to shut up during a movie?
Everybody. Did I tell you about?
But they don't
It
know,
seems like
or they
common
just,
sense.
or they don't see that they're doing it, or they just
They
think
don't
that
care.
they're the exception.
They don't care. It's like you said.
I paid my money.
They're only at the movies
If-
because it's something to do where they can wear their
Right.
new
And
sweater.
they're with their friends or whatever, and they don't care about anybody else around them. It's like you said, it's common sense. If it was, it's rare sense. If it was common, everybody would fucking know it.
Right.
But I remember at the movies years ago. I may have told you this. I'm at the movie with Sylvia. There's these girls, 4 or 5 rows down. I think 3 girls and a baby, and they're just going on the first 10 minutes of the movie, yakking.
Do you remember the movie? I love.
No, I
questions
don't.
Like, okay.
Was it
I
3
don't.
men and a baby? That would be weird.
that would have been funny. But I told Sylvia, "Excuse me, I'll be right back." She said, "Don't cause any trouble." I said, "I'm not. They are." So I walked down to the girls and I said, "Hey, girls, excuse me. What? Did you get in for free?" "No, neither the fuck did I. So shut up."
Yeah, I'd like to
You know?
freak out on somebody at the theater.
Oh, I want to do it all. Even something like okay,
And I convince myself I'm about to.
Yeah,
Just like
but you never
crisscross.
do, right?
No, never.
but that's why I can't.
Are
go-
you the type of guy that like sneaks up
Never.
and tells the manager?
Never.
Never.
No. I have to confront them. Whoever's irritating me, I
was
to
asking
confront them.
PJ Tracy.
Oh yeah, but I answered anyway.
I'll stand up to move seats and like sigh and roll my eyes at them, like,
That's
Oh,
why
you're that
see,
guy.
that's
You are
passive
that
aggressive,
guy.
and it doesn't work. You just end up getting more and more irritated.
I actually don't
And
do
you're
it.
kind of
I pretend like I'm going to the bathroom or something.
you're at least half the asshole I am when you do that.
I'm so
Or they are, I mean.
non-confrontational.
Let me give you guys a little scenario. Tell me what you think of this.
Warm it up, Chris.
Not even sure what that means.
I'm about to.
That's what I was gonna do.
and I'm just sitting here watching it like a tennis match. I'm back and forth.
When I was dating storytelling, I remember we went and saw Mighty Wind, okay, in the theater because
Funny
I worked
movie.
there and we didn't pay for it. And it was a small house because it's Yakima. Nobody's seen that movie
And
anyway.
it's
It also listed it under the A's for a mighty wind.
Yes, absolutely it
Well,
was.
Yakima fashion.
And it's obviously over the heads of most of the people out there.
Right. I'm not
who
saying
wouldn't
it's a
get
great
it.
movie, by the way.
I liked
It's
it.
left a little cold. I like it when I don't think about Best in Show or Spinal Tap
True.
or anything else. But anyway, so it was us and 2 elderly lady sitting like 2 rows down from us, and it was the smallest house in this 6-house theater. And I was excited enough to see it. You know, I was getting late. I was happy enough. And then this lady, before the movie even started, she had like a compulsive sniff that she was doing. One of the ladies in front of us.
Oh.
And so, and I didn't even recognize that it was happening. I didn't give a shit. But storytelling was instantly up in arms, like whispering, bitching about it to me.
That would have been me, because it would have just been amplified in my ears.
I kind of get that, but then, so here's her move: is she gets up once the movie starts. We're like 5-10 minutes in, and it's obvious this lady's not going to stop sniffing because she's incapable.
Yeah.
But still, so storytelling gets up, and she grabs like a wad of paper towels from the bathroom and goes up to the lady and just basically throws them in her lap. You are grossing me out, by the way. Do you think that's cool, or do you think that's uncool?
I think it was.
She could have gone about it better.
I would grab her by her dish towel for her dress and leave. I wouldn't be able to handle that.
I was seriously embarrassed.
I have to wonder if the lady got the hint or not, because a lot of people,
she did. She was instantly upset about it.
People like that just don't have a clue.
She says, "No, I'm fine, thanks," and she threw him down. And then we had to sit there the rest of the movie like that didn't happen.
Yeah.
The last time I was at a movie theater was Lord of the Rings, the first movie. I went with some friends, Robert, his wife, and his brother.
Former friends, then.
Former friends, right. I'm sitting next to his brother, Johnny, and this is a 3-hour movie, right? In the first half hour of the movie, Johnny is like coughing, clearing his throat every 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was going to be 3 hours of this shit. I excused myself and walked nearly to the back, like 5 rows from the back of the theater, and sat
shut
down
up
and enjoyed the rest of the movie, because I knew that was.
You never went back?
No, I never went back till the movie was done. Then I met him out in the lobby. But I knew that I couldn't sit there for 3 hours listening to him clear his throat.
Yeah.
It's like a dripping faucet. I wouldn't have been able to concentrate on the movie because I was waiting for the next time for him to clear his throat.
Right. 2012 was kind of that way, which is like I knew going in that I wasn't going to care if the audience got rowdy, which they did. I saw it opening weekend or close to, and I just knew it was one of those movies where I'm not going to care if people are cheering and telling junkies they have to go.
Oh, shit.
And that's a different kind of movie, too.
I know, but still, what I was going to say is it's a packed house, and we're literally in the back because I like it there. And all I can see is 16-year-old girls texting, like their phones aren't ringing, they're not talking on the phone, but just that illuminating light, like it's so fucking irritating.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like I can't sit in the back, which is my favorite spot because people are disrespectful.
Right. At the same time, I'm irritated with myself for being irritated by it. A talent your dad had that I was always jealous of when he was.
Since when is this show complimentary towards Dad?
But
his work ethic. Oh my God!
Yeah, but something I never got from your dad, but I was jealous of, was his ability to tune out everything while he was reading.
That's true.
And I wish I could do that. And I blame my mother for this. She was easily irritated by everything, and your Aunt Lori will back this up.
You can't chew gum in that house.
It rubbed off on us, and it irritates me that I get that irritated because
I've got my dad's like traffic situation anger. Not as bad as his, but I get mad at people on the road.
Do you get mad in crowded restaurants because it's taking too long?
No.
But you're in the industry. Yeah. Do you think you would be that way if you weren't a waiter?
No, I don't think so. I was always a good tipper and very patient.
And I hate people that get irritated in a busy place because...
Especially on a Friday or Saturday night.
You know who I hate is these people. How long's the wait? 10 minutes? Whoa! I'll go somewhere else. You want to cross my name off that list?
Whoa there, partner.
Yeah, McDonald's has a drive-thru.
Yeah.
And there's a thing. Why the fuck don't people realize a drive-thru is a quick, convenient thing, not where you go buy for the fucking dozen people in your family?
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're doing a lot of orders for a large group like that, go inside. Because you know what?
I'll go inside even as one guy. Let's say I drove.
Right.
I always hated the drive-thru.
It's
something I don't need to do.
I don't need to wait for these people to order their food, get it paid for, and then sit there right in front of the window opening up every single package, making sure it's just right when not all of it's going to be, obviously, and waiting for that whole thing. Go inside.
Yeah, they're as bad as my customers I used to have in retail that would realize at the last second when you're all done that they have to pay for it. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me get my checkbook out. Oh, let me get my wallet out. Like, oh, you thought it was free?
How do you not have
day?
Everything but the total written on your check, old
you thought
lady
it was
at
free
Walmart?
day, huh? Yeah.
Is it just me, or anytime somebody pulls out a checkbook now, do you think it's a scam?
No,
Like somehow they're trying to cheat the system.
I just
'Cause the only
don't-
time I ever write a check anymore is when I know it's bad, but it'll coast me through and I have
really.
groceries for the week.
I only did that on purpose once, way back in the day.
I
And
did it too
cost me a
often.
lot.
I had my checks taken away, not by the bank or anything, by a friend who was concerned.
Yeah, I was bouncing
Good
some
friend.
checks. Back when I was bouncing checks when I first turned 18, those Tacoma skateboarding days, I don't think I realized how illegal that is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you get in a lot of fucking trouble for that, and I don't know how I didn't, because I was pretty bad about
I
it.
felt bad for it.
Bouncing
but
checks
I
you're
was
talking about?
desperate.
Yeah. Like, I'm doing it
How's
for
it any
fun.
worse than like overdrafting? The only difference is you don't have to write a check. You
It's-
just use
it's
your
like
debit card.
fraud. If you're knowingly using like a bank account that is in the red, you're about to get it taken away, and you're like writing checks with money that you know for a fact you don't have. That's fraud.
Yeah, it's like they took away the ability.
Well, then forget what I just said.
years ago.
Well, I paid my debt to it.
It's one of the reasons credit cards stopped allowing people to take a cash advance on the entire credit limit, because people were cashing out their entire limits and then going bankrupt,
Yeah.
and then sitting on all the cash.
Although now this economy, your wife was telling me yesterday, PJ, when you were at work, that these we were talking about like my previous payday loan rut and how miserable it was, and I'm out of that now, thank God. And I honestly will never go back. Like it's a vicious, awful thing. But she was saying that she had read that they're fighting it now, but apparently payday loan places, at least some of them, have now announced that you can go in without a job and get a payday loan.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't they
I've
have to
heard
call it something other than payday loan then?
Just because they want you to just owe them money, because
Yeah.
they can say,
Right.
we've
So
got this
when
much
you're filling
money
out the
owed to
paperwork
us.
without a job, what are you saying? Like, I have a friend that has money?
Dude, I
Here's
don't
her
think
name.
Unemployment.
they just want to.
Yeah.
They just want to give you your money, charge you a shitload back, and put
And
you in
hope you don't pay it at
collections.
least for a while so they
Yeah.
can pile
And
on the
just want to
fees.
make sure you have medical insurance
Yeah.
when they break your arm.
I bet most of their money.
I thought it was thumbs.
I bet most of their money comes from like collection agencies and stuff
Probably.
like that. Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have gotten like a couple of phone calls for you in the past few months.
Few
Just-
months?
Yeah, just going, is this Nick Allers? No, it isn't. I think you have the wrong number. Who is this? And they'll say it's some collection agency or whatever.
You're kidding me. Why are you putting this out on
He's
that?
lying. He's lying.
Is it? Are you lying?
I am.
Fucker, I was so
full of
My heart sank.
Dude,
Did
that
you see
was-
my heart sink through my skin?
That was pretty good. I just knew you wouldn't do it on the show. I think you'd be a little more angry too. Why are you giving them my number as a
Yeah, why
reference?
would I give them your
Because
number?
you know I can't be fucking angry with you guys. Shit.
What if we took advantage of you that way? Like, hey Trace, we'll put you on the podcast, but I'm gonna need you to sign for this TV with me and
Yeah, really.
take care of this. I'm gonna need to borrow some dough.
Tracy, I need to rent a couch. Can you help me?
You know, as I was cleaning my house today, I'm going, if I let Nick stay here, I wouldn't have to clean again.
Well, hey, I'm already trying to get him to move and be our nanny.
You know what's funny though about that is like when I house sit for one, I do clean the house tip top just because I don't mind it. It's fun, busy work for me because I'm listening to podcast or The Wire's on, and like I just fucking get taken away with it. But PJ, when I'm at your house, I let your wife do all the work, and I feel bad about that because I feel like I'm claiming to have this reputation. Not that I'm bragging about it.
I'll tell you
like-
the honest truth. In the days leading up to it, she'll start talking about like little projects, like cleaning projects that she's going to ask you to do.
like organizing your DVDs. I did that.
Like that one time, yeah, but she's always got them, and I think she just chickens out on asking you to do
I would
them.
do it. Like I just
I'm
need
like,
to be
what?
assigned.
I'm like, why don't you ask him to organize? Or she'll be like, oh, this closet's such a mess. I'll be like, ask Nick to clean it out. He'll be here.
That reminds
I'll
I
have
know
fun
I'm-
with it. That's the gayest part.
I'm going to be at work. You're going to be alone with her for hours. You can be in there
That reminds me when I had
jerking off in her underwear.
when I had cousins over here like 4 or 5 years ago for a Christmas party. One of them, my cousin's wife, went downstairs and saw the DVD collection, and she was so fucking impressed with the way I had it organized because she's a librarian. She went, "Oh my god, it's an
and you go Dewey
alphabetical
Decimal
order."
on those DVDs, right?
Yeah, really. Alphabetical order. I'm impressed.
Yeah, everybody's always so shocked when they look at my DVD collection, which isn't nearly as impressive as yours, but mine is very alphabetical, like meticulously so. I think it's just people are like, how can you take the time? I'm like, how can you not? Like,
Exactly.
For one thing, it's a lot easier to find.
Exactly. I mean, imagine if
I know you only got 6 DVDs of Sex in the City that are just piled on top of your TV, but let me be me.
The only reason mine's out of order now is because I've run out of room, which is kind of embarrassing.
You mean your DVD buying is out of order?
No, my
This whole
collection.
goddamn system's out of order.
Yeah. Oh, that would be a good line from a movie, wouldn't it? But no,
I wrote it down.
And actually, no, back to the whole go to the movies thing. I don't buy DVDs brand new anymore.
Let's all go to the movies.
Let's all go to the movie lobby. And I can't sing either. But no, back to the go to the movies thing. The other thing is the cost. Why spend whatever you got to pay for a ticket now and be irritated when I can wait 6 months and buy it at fucking grocery store for $5?
It's true, but I'm not always thinking of like the economy of it, that's not the right thing to say. But like the cost of it, I have no respect for money anyway. I'm always throwing it away.
Throw it here.
Yeah, you should have heard the conversation between him and his wife about a new car. She's like, she's all stressed out about whether or not they can do that right now.
She's basically arguing with herself.
Because PJ's like, do what you want to do. New car? Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think we can afford that? Yeah, I mean, we can. Sure. Why not? Get a fucking car.
The kid doesn't need clothes or food.
The car's pretty cool.
Yeah, you have a kid now to think of, and I know that like it's not like she's wearing a potato sack when I get there. Like she's very well cared for, but that's why Alvina's concerned, and I think it's funny that you're not as.
But I'm sure
Alvina's just always afraid that we're both going to get fired on the same day.
I'm sure it would be
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our cash flow is fine. She's just afraid that it's all of a sudden going to cease to exist, and we're going to be screwed.
Which is actually not a bad thing to keep in the back of your head.
No,
we've all been fired.
I know that.
And we know what it's
I've
like.
never been fired.
Oh, that's right. You haven't.
No.
You quit right before?
No, I've never even been close.
But going back to what you were saying about the movies, I understand that, like, why not just wait 3 months, especially now. Like, the time between a movie coming out and the DVD is
so
basically
now,
nothing.
yeah. Especially
but sometimes I want to see, like, 2012, for instance. I hate to keep going back to that, like, it's a good movie. But if you're going to see it, you should see it in the theater, I think.
True, there is, because of the hype and the...
And plus, sometimes I'm just impatient. Like, when I hear good things about a movie and I know that it's playing 3 blocks for me, I'm going to go see it and spend $12 when I don't have to, because I'm a movie freak anyway, and I don't want to wait that long. I want to be able to join in on the talkbacks on some fucking movie site, you know?
Yeah.
True. That's the thing. And if I had...
I want to pose my own theory about what happened at the end of A Serious Man.
If I had more people that I talk to, I probably would, but I don't talk to people. So for me, there's
You don't have to. There's the internet now.
True, but even then, I don't talk about that too much on there. But I find that it doesn't really bother me. I don't mind seeing a movie 3 months later after the hype is done and going, wow, that was good. No wonder it got the hype.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, I just watched the new Star Trek movie the other day, and I'm going, wow, that was really good.
So when we record with you again 6 months from now, Paranormal Activity will be your favorite movie of all time?
No, but I'm sure it'll be in my collection. Or we'll have Netflixed it already.
Right. You'll at least know what the story was.
Yeah. And besides, I've got the advantage of a home theater, which helps a whole lot. It isn't, like you said, you can clean and watch The Wire at the same time.
Let's talk about that will again.
I can't, really. I can't, I have, when I watch a TV show, I have to sit there and watch it. I can't do something else at the same time.
Right, yeah.
So even though I've got a TV in every room, they're not all networked together. So I can't buzz around and do other shit. Because then I'll miss half of everything. I have to have closed captioning on almost everything now. So, because can't understand people.
Mm-hmm. Well, everything you watch is British.
Yeah, which ironically, House, who has a Brit lead, I still have to do closed captioning with him because the words are so fucking big.
But he's also masking his accent.
Lupus? Lupus. Oh, that's what it is. I knew a lupus. He was a slimy bastard. Remember what I was saying, how I'm not really an animal lover or nurturer?
Right.
The one time I had fun with cats or kittens was back in my stoner days when I'd hang out with these friends from the grocery store. And we'd get stoned and play Kitty Olympics.
You don't strike me even at the right age as a stoner, really. You have nothing to do with this stuff now.
I didn't touch it until I was in my early 20s. In fact,
me neither.
The first time I smoked dope was my then wife's brother.
So cute when he calls it dope.
Yeah, back in the 50s when they
Yeah.
called it dope.
Well, what's the word now? God, I hate the fucking.
When's the first time you had a reefer?
With the madness involved.
With the madness is just amazing. Fuck you, you bitch. You know, it's funny that you say that because I hate sounding old, which brings up another pet peeve thing. You know what word I hate because it makes everybody sound old, but you hear it all the time? Is nowadays.
Yeah.
I hate the word nowadays because it sounds so 1900.
Even though
it's like saying
the actual meaning is nowadays.
Yeah, it does, but it just doesn't seem right. I'd rather say these days or now. Why not say now instead of nowadays?
Right.
It just sounds so 100 years ago, and the word makes me cringe, and I try not to use it nowadays. But no, back when we used to get high, we'd play Kitty Olympics. We'd stand like a few paces away from each other, take the kitten, and have it do aerial gymnastics and catch it.
Cat football.
Yeah.
Football.
That's basically what.
Yeah.
That's the meaning of your other episode. Okay.
Yes.
But we also had this blanket hanging over a hallway entry, and we'd toss it and see how it would land. And we'd also hang it from the door sill to see and take bets.
You don't need to prove your dispassion for animals by telling this awful, awful story.
But that was how much I care. And but then we would also get it stoned, catch a moth, and watch it play with the moth.
That does sound fun. I might be a little stoned now, but I wish you had a cat right now and a moth, just so we could fucking put that to the test.
I remember the first time I saw Rear Window, I thought it looked so funny when he falls out of the window, and it looks so fake as he hits the courtyard below. So with my one cat, Bob, I used to
Are we talking about Bob Mapplethorpe?
Yeah, I used to play Rear Window, and I'd stand up like on the couch and hold it by its two front legs and drop it and just watch the way it looked up at me as it dropped to the ground.
And then after you saw Die Hard, it was the same thing, except he called it the Gruber game.
And I just love the fact that he just basically said he played Rear Window with Bob Mapplethorpe.
Good call. We didn't even know the Mapplethorpe reference when you named the cat that, right? It was just a Bottle Rocket thing.
Right, the character from Bottle Rocket. I think we knew who Robert Mapplethorpe was.
Yeah, because we were fags at the bookstore.
You're going to post one of those pictures in the album? I
if
suggest...
Facebook allows it, maybe.
Might I suggest
How do they feel about
bullwhip
bullwhips
in
in the
man's
ass?
ass?
Yeah.
So, God, I hate to ask this question because it shows that I am old. Dope isn't used anymore. What's the word?
Oh, we were just making fun. People still call it dope.
Ganj.
Ganj.
MJ.
No. Anybody that pulls out ganj is more of an asshole than Tracy was at his sock hops in 1932.
And nobody calls it Mary Jane anymore.
No, but we all still know what it means. And I should be that guy. I should just start calling it Mary Jane.
That would be funny.
If I could grow a beard, I would start calling it Mary Jane.
Nick calls it salmon. Someone on Twitter calls it paying bills.
Oh, that's right.
Speaking of beard, I love the fact that Barry gave up the fact that they used to call me Patches. Because, when my beard was thicker.
Oh, that's right. He did call you out on that.
Because I always had this spot right next to my chin that would never grow in, and it made it look patchy. I remember that. That's why I started shaving it really close, like a 5 o'clock shadow, because it never filled in all the way. So when he said that, I was upset for like a nanosecond. Then I laughed.
Just like the cowboy face things.
But see, what gets me...
You should have called Barry after that episode.
Back to the family again. That would have had much more impact to it if they'd have had the balls to say it to me instead of behind the back, which is...
I don't know. When we
like.
did have Uncle Barry on the show... because he had listened to the episode with you and Lori,
right.
And he said the only thing about that episode that broke his heart was the fact that Lori was mocking the idea of prayer.
Oh,
right.
God, fucking spare me.
Now, prayer is just... I always consider it's just self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All it is.
Yeah. But in any case, he did say... he alluded to the fact that you had... basically called him out as a sexual pervert. He didn't admit to that, but he admitted that he picked that up from you.
He said that he thought that apparently Tracy thinks he seems to think I'm some sort of sexual pervert.
And I don't know what you said specifically on that episode because it's been so long now.
I think it was just about the topic we had about his affinity towards young girls.
Right. Which he came clean enough about on the show,
Exactly.
quite frankly.
that it's happened. He didn't necessarily say that he had a pattern of it.
Which I have nothing against somebody younger than you, but as long as she's of legal age.
Right. How was Barry growing up? Did he ever have any? No, I guess we heard of his first date.
What's the age difference between you and Barry?
I have no idea.
He was the youngest of 7.
10 years.
I was the 7, and I was the 3rd. So
you were born in 61?
Yeah.
He's 71.
Okay.
He says figure that math out, but he gave me no figures.
I'm guessing 10.
I figured it out.
I can spell math, I just can't do it.
Yeah, so you didn't see much of that. And he had his first date when Singles came out in 1992. I remember that.
I was a late bloomer,
Was it a date, or was it what Barry's idea of a date probably was?
It was a date.
Of course he said it was a date.
It was what was allowed. It goes back to that repression thing. Grandma did not think it was... She thought it was silly. That why would a 16-year-old want a date?
Yeah.
Because they're 16.
Cast your mind back to 16, Grandma.
And I don't know.
I guess
She
that's
didn't
why-
always have the religion to blame for her
No,
weirdness.
she
But
didn't.
that's probably why she chose the religion.
I think
Like, it was
so.
perfect, or at least stuck with it.
Well, see, Grandma did
Plus,
not...
she got all of her fucking out of the way.
Yeah, really. And also,
Well, I
my
can't
mother-
imagine that.
Who knows?
was
Maybe
right.
she was a harlot. We don't know.
I don't
Maybe
know.
Tracy
my
knows.
mother did not want to be... She should have never been the parent of 7 children. I think 2 was her limit. It was too much
But then
work.
it would have just been my dad and Russ.
Exactly, but it was too
At
much.
least PJ and I still would have
There
been
was
born.
too much work, and she didn't want to have to go through all the heartache and work and worrying that went with having children. So the best way to not worry
And
about
yet,
it
what did she choose
is
as a
to
profession for a lot of that time?
Daycare.
Working at a fucking daycare.
But the point was, they were all home, and that's where she wanted us, where we were safe and out of trouble.
Right, which is why none of you went to high school.
Exactly, and never dated when we were young teenagers and that kind of stuff, because
Plus, you can
If-
only date within the religion, which is very, very restrictive.
With
And you have to
chaperones.
be marriage minded.
and chaperoning.
Right.
Dating is
Yeah.
not for fun. It's just for getting
It's
married.
for looking for your mate.
And if you're having fun, you better make sure nobody sees it.
Yeah, and if you're having fun, you're obviously doing something you shouldn't be doing.
Right.
Yep.
Satan's responsible for fun. Bible says so.
What a load of crap.
But how come they can?
can?
Never mind. How come they can use birth control if it's all about marriage and procreation and stuff like that?
I don't know. I'm sure that there's a Watchtower that explains it all thoroughly. Oh,
Well,
speaking of which, I'm subscribing to Watchtower and Awake for free to get them through the mail just to shit on it on the show. It's going to be a future segment. Don't you think that's a great idea?
Have you subscribed?
No, because I'm going to be moving soon. But once I do, I'm going to start getting those. What made me think of it was the other day I was walking to my friend's house, and I got approached by a Jehovah's Witness at a bus stop, and he was just trying to pass off an Awake, and I took it because I'm like, I got to see what's going on now.
Heck
you know?
yeah, keep up.
I didn't tell him my background. I was just like, sure, I'm interested. And then I took it, and I wasn't home, so it's not like he was writing down my address. But you can do that shit through the website and not be confronted by anybody. At least that used to be the way it worked.
Plus, you could keep one,
Hold on, quick plug, watchtower.org.
plus you could keep one by the door, and next time they come to offer you, say, no, I got mine. And just, thank you. Have a nice day.
But don't you think that'd be fun, like if we dissected what they were teaching today?
definitely.
You gotta
Because
be
I've been out of the
careful,
loop
man.
for so long.
Watch out for the Watchtower.
Yeah, you got to be awake when it comes to that stuff.
Jimi Hendrix joke. That was a good Jimi Hendrix joke, by the way. Can we agree?
I read a magazine recently. It doesn't. Was there anything interesting in the one you saw? I don't.
Yeah,
that's
but
all
Frank-
stupid.
Kind of. Awake isn't as fun for me as the Watchtower because it's kind of the more, at least as secular as Jehovah's Witnesses get.
Right.
Like,
It's like
it
a
still
science
calls
manual.
constantly to the Bible, but it's more like, and it's kind of fun this way. One of the things I was reading out loud because I was walking to breakfast and I had this Awake and I was like, Sam and Margaret want to hear about this, and it was about the dangers of speaking of the dangers of dating without having marriage in mind.
Yeah.
The
God.
the dangers.
And I think they actually phrased it as that. Like, that is putting in your head that dating in itself is basically a bad word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
It's terrible.
It's at
No
least
wonder
a bad
I'm so
practice.
fucked up. I'm barely not a virgin. Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a lot of sex, but with the same 2 Ugmas.
Tell me a story.
I've got some.
There's a couple other randomosities in there, wasn't there?
Great word.
You and Daniel down at the Mustang too, in Reno.
I got set up with a hooker at my bachelor party, and I didn't touch her.
With a hooker or a stripper?
Hooker. Yeah, she was at the.
It sounded like a very Jehovah's Witness bachelor party.
They ended up pulling. Oh, it wasn't JW's. I wasn't a JW by then.
Have you ever been to a Jehovah's Witness bachelor party?
I can't
That is a lame affair, dude. Seriously.
God, I can imagine.
Oh, I've been to 2, and they were both. Although
We're showing Back to the Future on my big screen.
And let's put it this
That's
way.
almost literally what it was.
Other than Mormons, I would assume the only bachelor party that would open and close with a prayer.
I bet the hardcore ones do. Pray him into a good marriage.
What's isn't a
Kill yourself.
bachelor party itself seems like a pretty worldly thing to me.
And not
you think
only
they just
that,
avoid it altogether?
But I'm pretty certain that they invite females there that aren't hookers.
And what's the point in that?
Man, because somebody has to chaperone it.
That's true, as long as she's got that head covering.
I wonder what the whole religion would be like if chicks ran the show.
You're talking about Jehovah's Witnesses specifically?
Yeah.
Well, again, the head covering is a requirement.
Or for one, well,
For prayer, for giving prayer.
For one thing, governing body would have a whole different meaning.
I don't know. Charles T. Russell was a pretty hot chick.
God, I saw some on YouTube of some of the early history of JWs.
Isn't it funny, like how we gravitate towards that shit now?
I know. It's in our DNA. We can't help it.
Because it's still interesting because it ruins so much of our lives.
But you see how much of their early history they buried. They're so embarrassed.
Oh, they're rewriting history
about.
all the time.
And a thing I saw on YouTube the other day was how they had a Greek historian, a person that's very fluent in Greek and the history of the Greek language and all that, and the Greek scriptures, show how the JW's version of the Bible is totally bastardized version, how they've rewritten the original Greek scriptures to their liking. And this is why they teach JWs not to read anything but what's from their society.
And there's the rub. Like, people don't get that. They're like, why didn't you even...
Barry said
if you're interested in God, why don't you explore other religions? Because you're not allowed.
Exactly.
Barry said they encourage you to read all versions of the Bible.
They didn't used to. Maybe they've changed their mind now.
No, they didn't.
Or he's just giving
Barry
you a line
changed
of
his mind.
shit. But yeah, they've always discouraged it. Which always got me about your Aunt Sherry. She would give her daughter's shit and her husband.
Will you move the microphone?
For what they read and what they watch on TV. But she would sit there reading one romance novel after the other.
Right.
Fucking, page
and then
to
wipes
page
her ass
porn.
with it when she's
Yeah,
done.
and no, that was what the Watchtower was.
I know, which is apparently okay.
Why desecrate her romance novels? That would have been a sin.
Just as a quick explanation, because I know we've referenced it a couple times without explaining it. Apparently, they were in the poorhouse once upon a time.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about my Uncle Russ and his wife, and still avid Jehovah's Witnesses. Because they couldn't afford toilet paper, they would use the Watchtower and Awakes, which we've already referenced, as toilet paper. That's got to be a rough wipe. Find some leaves. Find some leaves.
It is kind of
scoop up some ants that were crawling all over their walls. Use that as toilet paper.
It's like soft paper though, like old book orders and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah,
that'll work.
Hey, you guys were talking about scholastic books on one of your episodes.
Yeah,
man, that brought back memories for me. I used to love getting those books.
Oh man, it was the most exciting part of school.
In fact, you ended up friending them or joining their fan club, didn't you?
Yeah, they have a Facebook fan club. How can I not join? Want to pick me up some new Calvin and Hobbes?
Hey, I've got the whole bound collection.
Nice.
Nah.
Gold crested?
I'm sure.
Mother approved?
I used to love those.
There's actually no following PJ's joke. I'm sorry.
No, there isn't. It was perfect the way it was. But no, you just brought back memories. Those were great things to get. Back then, I think they were like 10 cents a book or something like that.
Did you ever feel yourself... Stupid question.
No.
I love my favorite part is when PJ bails halfway through his own sentence.
The old saying is the only stupid question is the one you didn't ask.
I was literally going to ask, did you ever feel yourself wanting for anything as a kid? Were you well provided for?
Oh, I understand why you should have kept that to yourself now.
We were poor.
Go down to the Value Village, get your toys?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Credit to my parents.
My kid only gets new toys.
We were poor and didn't know we were poor. We shopped. Yeah. We bought horse meat at the horse meat market.
See, that's what I want about my kid. Like, my wife's always worried about money. I'm like, let's not talk about money. just do what we want to do. So
We-
our kid doesn't have to.
Our
think
new toys, no shit, were at Goodwill in Seattle. In fact, I found out years later, they used to sell a box full of toys for $1. And my mother was just terribly honest and would have shit if she'd have known about this at the time. But apparently your dad and Russell would get ahead of Mom and go to the toy section and put all the best toys in one box.
Yeah.
And mix them all up so that, and then go, well, we want this box of toys, Mom. And Mom would buy it, and that would be our new toys. Was used stuff from Goodwill. We didn't know any better.
Even going into the daycare days when I'm old
Yeah.
enough to remember, like, all of those toys there in the toy room were secondhand.
Yeah.
And
But
some of them with
pretty dangerous.
jagged edges,
Yeah.
yeah.
A toy that I always wanted when I was a little kid. And
Easy
never-
bake oven, you fag.
No, there was a helicopter toy.
Shoe shine kit.
Easy Bake was the second one I wanted. But
What about a shoe shine kit?
yeah, if Mom would have wanted me to work that early, she'd have got it.
pair of glasses.
God, new glasses were great when I was a kid.
This is a toy.
Yeah, black frame or gray frame? Which would you like? Pepsi bottle or Coke? But no, there was
Hold
this
on, I'm still thinking.
there was this helicopter
Coke.
toy called a Vertibird that I wanted when I was a kid. It was just a helicopter on a wire, and you can control it going up and down, back and forth, blah 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 blah. And
I can't wait to find that on Google Images,
my
by the way.
my grandma found out that I wanted this toy, and she bought it for me. Well, she had heard wrong or was told wrong by my mom, and got me a totally different toy. And I was supposed to be happy, but I was so disappointed that I got the wrong one.
It's like me and the Red Ryder BB gun.
Exactly. Well, it is kind of like, yeah, it's that thing that just sticks with you that you
Sure.
always wanted. About 5 years ago, I'm on eBay looking for that toy. Now a fucking collector's item, like $600, mint condition. They make a knockoff of it, and I bought one.
Isn't it great to be an adult?
And it's like I fulfilled a 10-year-old's dream toy fantasy finally when I was like 40 or 40 something, and finally got the toy that I always wanted when I was little, and it felt so good.
Have you played with it? Is it awesome?
Oh yeah, it's in the living room.
What
I'll
about
show
you,
it to
Peter? Did you have a toy that you always wanted and never got?
I think I always went through phases. I remember really wanting a light bright, like very, very badly.
Because of the catchy tune in the commercial.
Yeah, and I think I got that at a Goodwill or something or a yard sale with Grandma, I think.
Yeah, eventually we had a light bright because I remember the pigs were fucking everywhere hurting my bare feet every morning when I woke up.
Upstairs in our 6-inch long shag carpet.
One time, Grandma's infamous for garage sailing. One time here in Tacoma,
She has a bumper sticker that says the same.
One time here in Tacoma, I was out garage sailing with her, and she says, and we're at this garage sale with these hippies, you know, just
A lot of
just
trucker caps and
that and long hair and all this kind of stuff. And Mom says, "Wow, Tracy, look at this weird lamp."
uh-oh.
And
I know where this is
I
going.
looked at the dude and looked at my mom, and I just grinned and said, "Nah, that's not a lamp, Mom."
Why are they putting that out on display, though?
And it
What
was-
if a cop is, off duty, but he's also a garage sailor?
What? They're selling a water
It
pipe.
was the
That's
early
true.
'80s. Nobody cared. Back when they had head shops, you know.
They still have head jobs. I know you don't get out of the house much,
but they were blatant about it back then. They have to be a little more hidden about it now, at least
Right.
in this city. And it was so obvious then, and it was just a perfect water pipe. You know, it wasn't a bong; it was a water pipe with the tubes coming out and all that. Mom's holding it, going, "Hey, look at this lamp."
you should have let her buy it.
Oh, it would have been great. Well,
Borrowing the lamp again, Mom.
she to this day she swears she wasn't wrong, but she liked Black Hills Gold, and she bought these earrings that she said were maple leaves when they weren't. And we couldn't convince her that those are not maple leaves, Mom.
Car out of control, they would crash the airwaves with a microphone. So sit down tight and listen close. All the ladies now, take off your clothes. Blood Brotherhood. Blood Brotherhood.
He wishes he had Esmeralda in it.
If you needed to cast the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but you didn't have any makeup at all, you hire this guy.